Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all devotees, all Prabhus and Matajis. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Very happy to have all of you in the morning chanting. And some of you have chanted along with everyone. I joined a little late. Please forgive me. Yet to finish a lot of my rounds. But today morning is special because we have a very um, special guest with us. Hare Krishna. I'm just going to mute everyone who's not speaking right now. So I did see Baladev Prabhu in the group. Uh, I don't know if I lost him now again. He might be joining back anytime. Hare Krishna. Yeah, he might be joining back anytime. Let me just see if he's. I'll just message him. Hare Krishna. So I hope all of you are distributing Bhagavad Gitas in this month of Gita Jayanti, a very special month. And today also in the evening we are going to discuss how strategically we can push distributing more Bhagavad Gitas as part of our service to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And today's session also, His Grace Baldev Prabhu, we have requested him to speak on book distribution. So I'm waiting for Baldev Prabhu to join. He was there in the meeting some time back. I did see him around 6 o'clock. Also, I saw him. He was there. Did he speak, Subara Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, I have not seen him. Okay. Did he come with the same name, Prabhu?
Yeah, he came as Baladev Prabhu. He was there. I joined at around 6
No,
o'clock.
Prabhu, then I did not notice.
Yeah, he joined here.
I have seen Prabhuji. Yes, he was there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
A long time back, he was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I did not notice, Prabhu. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Akinchan Prabhu, can you call Prabhuji and ask if he's joining?
Yes, I will ask you this. Give me.
Yeah. So why don't I take the time introducing Prabhuji to all of you? Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Prabhuji actually joined Krishna consciousness when he was, can you imagine what was the age? 14 years old. Right? He was just 14 years old. So Prabhuji came in touch with ISKCON in Mumbai in 1991. And he got initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 1995 at the age of 18. At the age of 18, Prabhuji got initiated. And his father, his father who is the one who had introduced him to Krishna consciousness. So he has been brought up in a Krishna conscious family. Coming from a family of devotees, his parents as well as his immediate relatives are all devotees in ISKCON and are initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. At the age of 23, after completing his education and settling his father's business with full blessings of his family, Prabhuji joined ISKCON Chowpatty Temple in 1999, full time, I mean to say. From academics perspective, Prabhuji is a bachelor's in physics and certified in advanced physics, nuclear energy, and kinematics. Further holds multiple diplomas in various fields such as human resource and
Hare
personal
Krishna,
management.
Prabhuji is here, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji has joined. Yeah, Hari Bol. Yeah, I'm just introducing in software management, business communication, and tourism. And Prabhuji teaches Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, IDC ISKCON Disciple course, and other Shastri courses. And Prabhuji is part of Council of Management, body which oversees the running and administration of ISKCON Radha Gopinath Temple, Mumbai, Chowpatty. Prabhuji is also part of the team which oversees the management of annual Kartik Yatra, which Chowpatty Temple arranges every year in October, in which 6,000 plus devotees join for yatra to holy places. Many of us have gone to this yatra and experienced, the great services that happen there. So Prabhuji is also the member of the core team of ISKCON India Youth Preachers Association, IIYC. Prabhuji is part of ISKCON India Book Distribution Committee. Prabhuji also oversees the functioning of one of the zones in Maharashtra. For the last 10 years, Prabhuji travels in India and abroad on invitations to share systems of devotee care, setting up youth preaching, book distribution, temple ashram, congregational preaching, etc. Prabhuji also conducts seminars on Holy Name, Prabhupada Festival, ISKCON Disciple courses, Bhakti Shastri, and Bhakti Vaibhav courses. Prabhuji's travel has helped him serve devotees in temples in countries of South America, Africa, Middle East, Europe, North America, and Southeast Asia. Prabhuji has conducted inspirational and leadership seminars for students and faculty of universities, corporate sectors, multinational companies, yoga institutes in India as well as abroad. And Prabhuji often also appears in TV and radio worldwide. So without any more delay, I would like to humbly welcome His Grace Baladev Prabhu with loud and enthusiastic 3 Haribols. Haribol!
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 I'm trying to find Prabhuji on the camera. 1 minute. Let me just.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes. I could find Prabhuji. Yes, there is Prabhuji. So personally, Prabhuji and Mataji, I have been a great fan of Prabhuji, hearing his lectures since 98, 99. I never used to miss Prabhuji's lectures because Prabhuji's lectures have so many stories and so many examples, real life examples, and very inspirational, incidents Prabhuji quotes. And even in Chaitanya Katha, there are some things Prabhuji quotes which is so difficult to find when we read many books. So much research Prabhuji does. And I personally have seen Prabhuji leading many events where book distribution was being, even the recent Bhadra Purnima, distribution Prabhuji was leading the whole distribution event and the awards that were given to all the devotees worldwide. So very inspired. Actually, very grateful to Akinchan Prabhu, our dear Anu Prabhu, who has introduced Prabhuji to our group. I always wanted to have some connection. I think Krishna has been very merciful that this connection is established today. So thank you, Prabhuji, for coming on and giving your time. In some more time, some more devotees will be joining, but we can get started, Prabhuji. Haribo. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Can you all hear me clearly? Nilanand Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
correct.
can you move your camera a little down, Prabhuji? Your face is really in the down part of the camera.
Yeah. I am in Govardhan Eco Village, so I'm not in my usual setup. You have to bear with me today with the camera a little down. That's what I could find the maximum in Govardhan Eco
Oh,
Village.
that's fine, bro. That's fine. Yes.
If I tell you what I have kept down, you will laugh at me. You will laugh at me. It's a bottle on which I kept my camera. Anyways, if I try, then maybe it will like it will have an issue. Then let me see. But then just one minute.
Did you lose, Prabhuji? Ah, yeah.
That's two down, right? But this is like
Yes,
two
yes,
down. Right?
absolutely fine, Prabhuji. And we can see
So
the
if I
room
try-
made with all. We can see the room made with all natural bricks and what GE is famous for.
Go behind. Yeah, it's okay.
There you go.
It's okay.
Yes, absolutely, Prabhuji. Dandavat, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So in case I lose my network, just let me know. Then I'll change to Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all devotees for joining today morning. And thank you to the organizers, especially Lilanand Prabhu and Kinchan Priya Prabhu to connect with me and giving me a chance to connect with all of you. I do not know whether I know all of you or seen all of you or met all of you, but at least once last year I came to Mayapur and gave a program. So I'm not sure if everyone was there or some of you were there. So nonetheless, so thank you for connecting back. And thank you for giving me opportunity to speak on book distribution, one of my very favorite topics. It's like, a hungry person, you give him a plate of prasadam, what will happen? You don't have to predict, right? So to speak about book distribution is something which it's like a legacy which I got from my own father, who is also a very nice, big, good book distributor in our ISKCON Chopadi congregation. So nonetheless, we will begin some inspirational things on book distribution. I heard that you already are doing book distribution. So to speak about book distribution to new people becomes relatively easy. But to speak book distribution to devotees who are already doing it and sincere becomes really tough, because sometimes I feel that you are doing more than what I am doing. I'm just speaking. I am not much doing so much of ground book distribution in terms of going out and distributing books. So it's little challenging to speak. But nonetheless, Prabhuji told me to inspire all of you. I don't know how I'll inspire, but I'll just speak something up from Prabhupada's beautiful pastimes. And because Prabhupada inspires all of us, so I'm just connecting all of you to Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. So I begin with a dream. Like dream, just had a night yesterday, just morning woke up. So sometimes we see a dream. So one devotee was a book distributor. He got an unusual dream one day. So this devotee for many years was distributing books, but for one particular year, because of shortage of devotees in his temple and because of a lot of service, he just could not go for book distribution. Like many of us come across such situations in our life due to various challenges, various new services, we often cut on our book distribution things. So this devotee was, this is not here in India, it's an abroad story. So this devotee was like taking rest in the night time. And this is a small center, not a very big temple also. So small center, very few devotees, all the devotees are busy in deity worship, cleaning, etc. So they didn't get time to go for distribution of books one December. So he was taking rest. For them, taking rest was the same room where they had this center. So they would close the small deities they closed the altar, and they would sleep in the same room, the temple hall, and get up in the morning, then clean the room, take bath, and then do Mangalarti and all the activities there. So he was sleeping, and there was this Prabhupada deity there. So just below Prabhupada deity, he was taking rest. So in the night time, he was woken up. When he was woken up, he saw He was surprised. It was Srila Prabhupada who came down from the Vyasasana and is saying, "Get up." He was surprised. Prabhupada. Yes, get up. Prabhupada, now, yes. The night time, midnight, it was night, something like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. He said, I am feeling bored in this temple. I want to preach. Take me out for preaching. So Prabhupada, can you go tomorrow morning, to preach? No, I want to go right now. I said, okay. So he somehow got up from his bed and started walking. Prabhupada was following him. Then he came down to the main gate and Prabhupada said, let's go on the road. It was okay, Prabhupada. Then he went on the road and there was literally no one on the road. It's like complete empty. So then Prabhupada, where should we go now? So Prabhupada said, you can see from there, this one man is coming. Go and bring him here. Tell him that my guru, my founder Acharya wants to preach to you. I said, Prabhupada, how can I say that to him in the night time, 12:30? He said, you go and just tell him. So he gathered some courage and went to that person and told him, my guru wants to preach to you. Surprised, what? Who are you? Night 12:30, someone is catching me like this, a monk. So just come with me. So he brought the man to the gate and he was surprised. This devotee said, where is Prabhupada? Prabhupada told me to come and bring this man and Prabhupada is now vanished. I'm in for a big soup now. This person beat me, bringing me in the night 12:30 to the main gate of the temple. And then he saw Prabhupada, then he heard Prabhupada's voice. And he was saying, Prabhupada's voice is coming. Prabhupada is not to be seen. Then he saw there is a table on which there are Prabhupada books, a set of books. From there, the voice came. Hari Bol, give these books to him. So, give these books to him. Yes, you give this book to him and tell him to go home. At his home, I'll preach to him through my books. And then what happened? The dream broke. And then he realized, yes, actually the main preaching is done by Srila Prabhupada. All we are nothing but delivery boys or girls who just go and deliver Srila Prabhupada to all of them. So this is book distribution. If we think that we are distributing books, then we are actually in a big illusion. All we are is nothing but a carrier of those Srila Prabhupada books, and Prabhupada is preaching and Prabhupada is convincing them to become Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada did say, what your 2 minutes of preaching will do, give him my book and he will understand everything. So this is how Srila Prabhupada wrote his books. Srila Prabhupada did not author books just for his name and fame. He actually wrote books for the compassionate, for the compassion of the entire mankind. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada would often say that my writing of books is not some ordinary writing of books. I write books with understanding that it has to be given to people in Kali Yuga, and they can be they can be delivered from the ocean of birth and death. So this is Srila Prabhupada's contribution to the whole world in the form of his books. And therefore Srila Prabhupada, when he was physically present, he was emphasizing the most important activity in the whole of ISKCON was distribution of books, the printing of the books, the publishing of the books, and the distribution of the books. So this is the legacy which Srila Prabhupada got, not only from his Guru Maharaj, but from the entire parampara, the legacy of writing, printing, and distribution of books, the whole gamut of activities concerning the book. So, therefore, Vaisheshik Prabhu mentioned this is our family business, right? Srila Prabhupada got this business from his Guru Maharaj and he's passing on this business to us. It's a family business. We carry on this. So, Srila Prabhupada loved to hear about his book publishing, book printing, and also distribution. Prabhupada said that this is giving me life. So Prabhupada was in physical state very old and very, very difficult because he was going through a lot of problems in his health. But when he would hear book distribution scores or he would see a new book has printed, Prabhupada said that I feel that just now I rejuvenated and a new life has come in my body. Thank you. Print more books and I'll keep myself alive so that I write more books. So that was Prabhupada's reciprocation with the book team. One time, some devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, of all the books you wrote, the magnum opus of your life was Srimad Bhagavatam. why did you choose Srimad Bhagavatam as the main book and not just other books? There are so many books. Ramayana is also there. There is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. There is Bhagavad Gita. You could have written so many. Prabhupada said, I want to write I want to write commentary on all the commentaries of all the acharyas. So Prabhupada would have spent time writing different Bhagavad Gitas of Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, and everyone. But Prabhupada chose Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada said that, it was inspired by the acharyas. So actually, the devotee had heard previously where some Prabhupada had himself spoken in a very informal way to one devotee that actually I was inspired by Rupa Goswami to write Srimad Bhagavatam. She was kind of trying to get from Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, can you reveal that story, what happened there? So Prabhupada said, oh, that everyone knows that Rupa Goswami came and inspired me to write Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada cut short the whole thing. But actually, this story was later spoken by the Mahant of Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. This story comes into this book called Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All, by one Prabhupada disciple, Mula Prakriti Mataji. She went on, collected beautiful anecdotes and pastimes from Srila Prabhupada's contemporary devotees, Prabhupada's god brothers, and those devotees who were in Vrindavan that time, and Prabhupada was struggling to preach before he went to West. So what happened is someone's speaker is unmuted. Mike, unmuted. Thank you. So Srila Prabhupada, this is one recollection from the book. So one particular night at around 12:30 or 1 o'clock, the Mahant of Radha Damodar temple, and he was taking rest along with his family, his wife and his kid. And they heard Prabhupada speaking, talking to someone. And they were wondering that we are locked the door from outside, and inside the compound, the whole family is here sleeping, and there's Prabhupada downstairs. Whom is he talking to? But the talk continued for 5-10 minutes, and because it was night time, and they could hear distinctly that Prabhupada was speaking to someone. So anyways, they slept, and then in the morning, the boy, the son of this Mahant, the Pujari of the temple, would regularly go and give milk to Prabhupada or some food, prasadam like that. So he went and asked Swamiji, Prabhupada, yesterday night we all woke up because you were talking to someone else. Whom you were talking to? Because in the compound there is just we, our family, and you. And Prabhupada told this boy that I was talking to Rupa Goswami. He had come to my room. Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir is there, and his Samadhi also is there. So he came to my room and he told that you should go to America, New York, and you should write Srimad Bhagavatam first, and then you take Bhagavatam to New York. So this is the inside story that Srila Prabhupada was inspired to first go to New York and not any other city, and also to first take up the important task of writing Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada was once asked by a few disciples, Srila Prabhupada, your Guru Maharaj sent sent the first devotee was sent by Guru Maharaj abroad was in London, right, Prabhupada? So then why did you choose New York? Why did not you go to London? Because Guru Maharaj wanted to preach in London first. So Prabhupada very humbly said, actually my god brothers went to London and they failed. So I thought, let me fail in a new place. So I choose New York. So this is Prabhupada's humility, where he's revealing that he wanted to go to a new place. But actually, deep inside, he knew he was properly directed by the acharyas, the Rupa Goswami, other acharyas. And down the line, then we saw that how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told him right from day one, the first meeting, till the last letter he received before Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur departed. The same thing, they preach in English language, print and distribute books, and that's the life's mission. And Prabhupada gave his whole life trying to work on these instructions. He did not have easy time. He had a lot of challenges, lack of money, but he persisted. For next 40 years, Srila Prabhupada persisted, and that persistence led to the sweet, revolutionary preaching of establishing ISKCON Society, establishing Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, and just meager 11 to 12 years, Srila Prabhupada preached all over the world. Srila Prabhupada got very, very big success in 12 years, such a big success. But for that, there was a foundation of 40 years of struggle. So this is something which we need to also work and think about, that before success comes, the rest is a struggle. We generally want to avoid struggle and we want success immediately. Prabhupada did not give up. Srila Prabhupada was so very poor in Vrindavan. He did not have anything. He did not know next month's rent, how he will pay to Radha Damodar Temple Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada would, when Prabhupada began to write Srimad Bhagavatam, he would himself write on paper. And then he got a donation of a typewriter. He would type himself on the typewriter. And then he would go to the printer. So all this was done by his own hands. He did it himself personally. So one of the people, one of the old acquaintance of Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan had a shop. That time Vrindavan was not yet developed as much as it is developed. Now you know, go to Loi Bazaar, right? That is a place where people always go for shopping. That's the spiritual shopping center for all of us. We go for bead bags, for neck beads, for books, for chadars. I don't want to go into details of that. But we go to Loi Bazaar for shopping, right? And that time when Prabhupada was staying in Vrindavan before he went to America, Loi Bazaar was just few shops. So Prabhupada would do Madhukari. You know what is Madhukari? Madhukari is nothing but go and beg door to door. So Prabhupada would go door to door and Prabhupada especially go to shops. So this one shopkeeper, he recollects. Prabhupada came to his shop for Madhukari. It's quite simple, quite very normal to have any Babaji or Maharaj coming and asking for roti or some. In fact, Madhukari has become so famous that ISKCON devotees who wear Rolex watches and hi-fi kurta, they also go into Madhukari, you know, because they want to eat this. They want to eat the Braj roti and sabji. It's amazing. But you know, Brajvasis are so simple. Even if you wear Rolex watch and costly kurtas and costly sarees, they will still give you Madhukari, because they think that if someone's coming to a house and asking something, we should not say no to it. So they have less, but they always share. So this devotee, this shopkeeper recollects, when Prabhupada came to his shop, he asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, kya lenge? What do you take? You know, rice, or because he knows Srila Prabhupada was Bengali. So Prabhupada, Bengali is like rice, then chapatis. So what do you take, chapati or rice? Prabhupada said, no, nothing. So why you come then? Madhukar, you ask for something. Said, I want paper. What paper you want? So I want plain paper. Plain paper. Why? When I have to write Bhagavatam, I don't have money to buy paper. How can I write Bhagavatam? So he was asking for Madhukari of paper. Can you imagine? He did not have money even to buy paper. That was what Prabhupada actually went through in his life. So he somehow got paper, he wrote those Bhagavatams, and then he got some more paper, typed on it. And then when the first volume got over, that means around few chapters of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he decided to go and print those volumes. He did not have money also. He went on the, what do you say, the non-reserved dibba, the train, because he didn't have money. He traveled in that train many times. He did not have money to buy tickets, so he would just go ticketless. And he came to Delhi, and then he was looking for some printing press, and someone told him, Hit Sharan or someone like that. So he went to that place and then said, I want to print my Bhagavatam. Can you help me? So the man saw the Bhagavatam and said, okay, Swamiji, you have to give an advance. He said, well, is it possible that I can give advance after the printing is done? He said, are you crazy? Generally, people give advance means you give before printing, and after printing, you give the full money, right? So Prabhupada was saying that I will give advance after the printing is over. So Prabhupada said, I don't have money, but I know these books will be very nice for the entire mankind, and please print it for me. So this person, he was thinking that, it's an unusual customer which I'm getting, but he's so sincere, he wants to print his books. So for the first time in the history of his whole printing press, he gave, he actually printed those Bhagavatam sets for him without charging any money in advance, and giving full faith in the customer whom he did not know. Just by the sincerity of Prabhupada, he was moved. So Prabhupada would come always and also check the galley proofs and also the editing of the whole thing. So many times Prabhupada would come and then he would realize that Prabhupada was feeling very weak. He would not be able to walk properly. So he asked Swamiji, have you taken any food since morning? And Prabhupada said, no, I have not taken any food. So Prabhupada would actually many times fast till someone give him food. This was Prabhupada's state of affairs for just getting this book printed, because he was very determined and focused to serve his own Guru Maharaj. So then he printed those, this printer gave the books to Prabhupada. Prabhupada himself would go and distribute those books. And finally, after some distribution, he got some money. So he came back and gave to the printer. And he gave to the printer and said, this is the money. And then he gave him the next volume. He said, print this new volume with this money. He said, Swamiji, your previous money is still pending. Don't worry. After you print the second volume, I'll distribute that, and that also give you money, and then I'll pay you all bills. So this printer was really amazed that, Swamiji is so determined, so enthusiastic to print books. So he kept on helping Maharaj Prabhupada. And then he told Prabhupada that I think so that you need some financial help. And I'll tell you, there's one lady, she's very, very pious, but she stays in Mumbai. You go to Mumbai, and in Mumbai, you can go meet her and show her your books, and she'll help you in finance those books. So Prabhupada then traveled all the way from Delhi to Mumbai, again in a non-reserved in a coach. Then he got down at Mumbai, he came to Andheri, was looking for that lady's address. Her name was told to him as Sumati Morarji. So he finally found she stays in Juhu somewhere. They have a small township there and they have an office there. So he came all the way there and waited for a few hours till she came. And then he presented to her that, I want to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam and print, I need financial help. So Sumati Morarji very, very generously gave the money to finance Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam printing. So this is the first way how Sumati Morarji helped Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada, when he went to her office, Prabhupada realized, oh, she is into another business. Her business is to transport goods into her own ship. So Prabhupada saw that she is having a steamship company. And then he inquired from all people around and came to know that her company also sends ship to America also. So Prabhupada noted all those things down. Prabhupada was very intelligent. Wherever opportunity came, Prabhupada always noted those opportunities. And Prabhupada went back, then paid off the bills, and Prabhupada's usual thing was going on book distribution. And then Prabhupada met one friend of his acquaintance who was introduced to Srila Prabhupada that, oh, his son stays in America. So Prabhupada immediately said, can you help me? I want to go to America. I want to go and preach Bhagavatam there. So this person was Agrawal said, yes, I'll try. And then Prabhupada would tell about America to everyone whom he met, who had connection with America. So after 1 or 2 months, Prabhupada got a letter in Vrindavan. And that was how that his P form is cleared. That means he can go to America. Prabhupada said, I never applied for P form. How is P form got cleared? And Prabhupada saw that the addressee was Mr. Agarwal's son in America, in Butler, Pennsylvania. And so Prabhupada said, oh, I told so many people about my America. But this Agarwal took it seriously and he told his son, and the son is now calling me. He was so happy. Now all I had to go do is now I need some vehicle mode of transport to go to America. And that's the time Prabhupada remembered Sumati Morarji again. And Prabhupada traveled all the way to Mumbai again, non-reserved. And Prabhupada then again, as we know, he was sitting in the steps, she had not come. And then Sumati Morarji asked his secretary, why Swami has come again? Oh, Swamiji wants to go to America. He wants a free ticket on your Jaladuta ship. I said, oh, is he crazy? He's such an old age. How will he go to America? Tell him that I am very busy. Oh, I told him you are busy, but he's still waiting for you. So Prabhupada said, I want to meet her. And finally, Prabhupada came in the office. And she was trying to convince Prabhupada, you're not going to America, you're an old man, you will die. So Prabhupada said, let me die, no problem. He said, I am like your daughter, how can I allow you to go to America? And Prabhupada said, if you are my daughter, you will fulfill your father's last wish. So Prabhupada was so strong, and they finally said, okay, I'll give you the ticket to you, go to America. And that's history now, that how we see that Srila Prabhupada was so determined. All that he did was he wanted to go to America and preach Krishna consciousness as per the Acharyas. So we find here Rupa Goswami coming to Srila Prabhupada and telling him to go to New York, Bhakti Siddhanta Sarada. So all the gurus are telling him to go to this place and preach and write Bhagavatam. But it was not like gurus are telling him and everything is coming very easily for him. No, not that in the morning he wakes up and he gets a ticket from somewhere. No, he has to work hard to make that dream realize. And that took 40 years to realize. That is the amazing part, right? So Prabhupada then finally got the ticket and he came to Vrindavan to gather all his things. And Prabhupada then wanted to take blessings of all devotees in Vrindavan. So there was a meeting going on in Vrindavan where all the leaders of Vrindavan temples were all there. So Prabhupada also was invited for the meeting. So Prabhupada went there and told everyone in the meeting that he took his Bhagavatam volume and said, this Bhagavatam is now going to America. And everyone clapped, very good, very good. And then what happened? Then he passed the Bhagavatam and everyone touching the Bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam will go to America. So Bhagavatam went around the table, came back to Srila Prabhupada's hand. And Prabhupada said, well, this Bhagavatam can't go alone. Someone has to carry. So I'm going to carry this Bhagavatam. So bless me also. So this is how Srila Prabhupada was so humble that he considered himself as just a carrier of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam will do revolution. So Prabhupada then boarded Jaladuta at Kolkata, but his printing was delayed, so then he could not get those Bhagavatams in Kolkata. So that Bhagavatam was supposed, then the Captain Pandya said, the Bhagavatam can come in Cochin, because the ship goes all the way from Bay of Bengal through Sri Lanka, and Cochin is the next stop in Kerala. So Prabhupada was having his own suitcase and a Chaitanya Charitamrita and some cereals to carry. But when the whole ship went through Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and came to Cochin, and that was Srila Prabhupada's birthday. And then the Cochin, then those trunks of Srimad Bhagavatam were loaded. And Prabhupada said, I felt so relieved. Because Prabhupada said, I wanted to take Bhagavatam, and I did not have Bhagavatam in Calcutta. Bhagavatam was loaded in Cochin. And Prabhupada felt that this is a real birthday gift, that the trunks of Srimad Bhagavatam have loaded in Jaladuta, and this I'm going to carry to America. So I'm just mentioning this few stories of how Srila Prabhupada was fond of his books, because it was not just authoring some books, but it was actually a strategy which the whole Gaudiya Sampradaya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had started and envisioned a strategy of how Krishna consciousness will spread. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said 500 years back, every town and village, he knew it, and that is through books it will go. Srila Prabhupada said many times, I cannot go, devotees can't go to each place, but these books will reach to all corners, right? Giriraj Maharaj mentions a beautiful pastime that once he got a chance to go to Africa, so he carried some books. He said the first time ever a devotee had landed in Nigeria, and he thought he will distribute some books there. And he went to one person on the road, and he gave a book to him, and he said, I already have this book. A surprise. I'm the first person in Nigeria going and giving books to others. And he said, well, I went to New York to meet my sister there. So there in the airport, I got a book. So I carried the book to Nigeria. So Maharaj realized, I said, Prabhupada said that we devotees cannot go to all corners of the world, but these books will go every corner of the world. So this is the power of book distribution. We don't even know that the person whom we're giving book, where he belongs to or where this book will go. And this book will have effect on a placebo effect on so many great other people, and they will buy, they will read, and they will get transformed. So the mystical part of book distribution is that we don't know the whole story. We just do our part, and the books do their part of reaching out to conditioned souls and convincing them to take Krishna consciousness. So this is some few stories which I remember from Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrit, where Prabhupada's eagerness, enthusiasm to distribute, to print, to publish, and to write books. So Srila Prabhupada has given us a legacy. He has given the whole ISKCON as a legacy for us all these programs, prasadam distribution, deity worship, and preaching, and other services, temple management, temple construction. Definitely everything is in parampara from Srila Prabhupada. But one thing which is very, very close to Srila Prabhupada because of his own instruction which he received from his spiritual master was with the books. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada was kind enough to generate an enthusiasm in distribution of his books. When he was physically present, Srila Prabhupada was the one who actually labeled or actually got this December book marathon as a one full month of complete samadhi of distributing his books. So this December book marathon is directly coming from Srila Prabhupada's own Leela. It's like participating Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit by participating in book distribution. Srila Prabhupada's book distribution is amazing. I saw the whole book distribution as a way of reciprocating with Srila Prabhupada. We see in Kartik, which is October, November, we do so much of extra chanting or extra vows, go to Vrindavan, right? As soon as Kartik comes, of course now COVID is there, so many of us could not go. But generally when Kartik comes, we always think, how we can increase our rounds, increase our devotion, offer lamp every day at home or go to devotee's house, have Damodar programs, go to Vrindavan for Kartik and Parikrama and all that, So we try to get more and more mercy. So we are like in a mood of getting some mercy for our own self. And then we complete the Kartik. And after Kartik comes the month of Marga Shirsha. This is a Sanskrit name of the month Marga Shirsha, which comes after Kartik. And Marga Shirsha is a very beautiful month because Krishna speaks about Marga Shirsha month in Bhagavad Gita. He mentions, Maso Ham Marga Shirsho. That means of all months, I am the month of Marga Shirsha. So just analyzing in a way that first the month of Radharani comes, and after Radharani month comes Krishna's month, right? It's the right way, Radha Krishna, right? First Radharani should come and Krishna comes. So Radharani months get over, we get all blessings from Radharani, and Krishna's month is coming, Krishna is reminding us, now you have to preach. You get so much of mercy. Now you have to distribute that mercy which you have received. And exactly that time, the book distribution starts. So we give out the mercy which we receive. So we ensure that in next Kartik when Radharani's month come, there will be more devotees in ISKCON who also will grab in, will also take mercy of Srimati Radharani, and our family will grow, right? So this is book distribution. In the corporate or in the office world, we see this year ending or something like that. In year ending, people are very busy. What they could not do 11 months, they try to cover up all their activities and submit the files, submit the drafts and documents, right? So generally when year ending, I always see the devotees when I ask them, especially in March, they are not seen in temple. I said, where were you? So year ending was there, very difficult, working extra hours, 12 hours in office. So year ending is a very difficult task. We actually take so much of efforts to clear up what we have not done throughout the whole year and finally submit all our dues. So similarly in book distribution, marathon also is coming on the year end, right? The December month. So January to November, if we have not done enough preaching or sharing Krishna consciousness, this is year ending. Let's cover up what we have not done the whole 11 months. And 12th month, we just go out and we distribute Srila Prabhupada books, and then we do our maximum efforts and we clear our year ending all dues, and we distribute Srila Prabhupada books. So book distribution is an amazing activity, and I hope and pray that you all already know about book distribution. Now, as we come to conclusion of our class, I will in the end speak some nice tips which I have learned from devotees all over the world, how to distribute books practically. Because this is something which we are always facing a lot of trouble in, right? Many times devotees come and ask me, Prabhuji, we have been distributing Bhagavad Gita for so many years. People have it. Why we don't distribute some other book? And I say that, well, I agree that people have Bhagavad Gita, but I don't agree that everyone has Bhagavad Gita. There are still people who do not have Bhagavad Gita. And that is a fact because every year we see that everyone, especially in India, we have around If you said 10 lakh Bhagavad Gitas go every December marathon. 10 lakhs, a huge figure. So if Bhagavad Gita everyone is having, then why people are still buying it? Because there are some people who are still not having it. So 10 lakh Gitas every year for last 10 years minimum is happening. 4 lakh Pune, 3.5 lakh Delhi, and then other temples, 1 lakh each. I'm just saying the ground figure, maybe more than 10 lakh Bhagavad Gitas go every December in India. So we should know that it's not like everyone has Bhagavad Gita. No, there are many who do not have Bhagavad Gita. That's one thing. So we need to still distribute the books of Srila Prabhupada because people don't have the book. The second thing is many of our devotees, all of us, we get very easily carried away with failures. If you go to someone and give him book and he said, no, I don't want. And you go to third person, I don't want. Fourth person, after fourth person or fifth person, we say that maybe I am not a good book distributor. No one is buying books from me. So let me do something else, right? Let me pack books. Let me serve prasadam to the book distributors. A book distribution mere bas ki baat nahi. We say like that. But actually it is not like that. Actually, we should know that book distribution is actually everyone's work, right? And we should not get discouraged by struggles. We should know that distributing book is a struggle, is a difficult thing. Not just distributing books, but anything you have to give to people, asking them to buy is a struggle. If you give free, people will come and grab it. Anything. I've seen many times, you give something is available free, people take one and take 5 copies or something else, And you ask them, why you already taken one? I said, no, kal, parso ke liye, tarso ke liye. Advance. People just grab things when free is there. Not just book. Anything you give free, people are there to buy. People are there to take it. But when you want to buy them, or they have to pay money and buy from us. Anything. A razor blade also, if you have to sell that razor blade, people will not buy it from you very easily. You'll have to convince. And that's why every company which is in production or as a business, they have a separate department called as marketing department. And for marketing department, they have very highly qualified marketing managers and sales and all the staff. They pay a lot of money because it's not easy to sell any product. We were having a discussion with devotees in Mumbai here about book distribution. And then asked someone in the group, is anyone here in marketing? So one devotee raised his hand. So I asked, what do you market? And he said, I'm marketing some, what was that? I think it was some gadget, maybe a mobile phone. Yeah, he was in mobile phone industry. He was marketing a mobile phone. So I said, mobile phone is a requirement. People need a mobile phone, right? He said, yes, today people cannot live without mobile phone, right? They feel separation when mobile phone is taken away. Like Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam, mobile phone Virayaname. So it has become a need, a necessity, a luxury, whatever you call it. But mobile phone is something which is with our lifestyle. So I asked him that you are marketing mobile phone and one of the best brands. So what is your experience when your sales people go and market your mobile phone? Then he said to me that, Prabhuji, whenever we go to a shop or we go to customers to buy our phones and sell in the shops or do other tradings, when we go to 100 people, approach 100 people, 50 people don't even pay attention to us. That means you go and talk to them, okay, then calls on a phone, boliye, baad mein aa sakte kya? No attention, no grabbing, nothing. No, not even recognize their presence. 50 people don't even recognize our presence. This is a fact. And he's marketing mobile, he's not marketing Bhagavad Gita. Then 50 people who remaining 50 people, they hear us. But out of the 50 people who hear us, 25, 30 people are just hearing us, but they are not very keen, or we are just speaking and they are hearing us. They are giving us a hearing. Remaining ones, they hear us, they ask something questions to us, and after asking, they said, well, I'll take later, you come next time. they give back to us. So 50 people don't even recognize us. 50 people, they talk to us, they hear us, and after that, some 10 to 12 people, they talk to us, they discuss about our product, and finally say, well, we'll take next time. Only 4 to 5 people of 100 people actually buy the product. This is a simple thing which people need, and still the success rate is 5 to 6 out of 100. That means you hit 100, you get 5. And yet in marketing, people are sustaining. Why? Because they know that marketing, we have to convince a customer to go without, to sell without, to sell him what he, maybe even if he's not requiring, we should have to tell him, "No, you require this." So the marketing industry works in this fashion. So now we can see, now we are all transcendental marketing people, marketing Srila Prabhupada's books. So if a razor or if a mobile takes so much of energy for a marketing person to actually make him buy the customer, only 5 out of 100. So what to speak of Bhagavad Gita? If we're going to go with Bhagavad Gita to people, we're going to welcome us. आइए प्रभु जी माता जी आपका ही राह देख रहा था मैं. They're not going to welcome us. They're going to be like, okay, we'll see. 50% people will actually not even recognize your presence. The remaining one will actually hear you. And some of them will even talk and speak. Bhagavad Gita is there. Oh, I had it. My uncle was there. But finally said, well, I don't have money, or I'll take it later. And convince them also, there's a December Gita Jayanti, please take it now. So, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Go away. And only 5 to 6 people will buy. So we can see that we need not get discouraged with book distribution. We should know that this book distribution activity, as part of the entire marketing thing, will have less customers. Now here is a great way of actually doing book distribution without getting discouraged. So if you're going to approach 100 people and only 5 to 6 people are going to buy Bhagavad Gita, so what are you going to do with the 95 people? Are you going to leave them? No. From those 95 who are not going to buy, if you find some of the people who are very interested, who are telling you, well, I already have a Gita, I don't need a Gita. The next thing you should do is you should ask, oh, you already have a Gita, you're such a pious person. We have a program going on in this place, Miyapur or some other place. We have online program, we have offline programs. Would you like to understand Bhagavad Gita more and get connected? Not every day, but once in a while, Such a person may feel, oh, very nice, why not? And he will share his number to you. So book distribution is not that how many books went, but book distribution is more broader. Not just the books should go, but there should be reciprocation people. And people who are very sincere, who find some element of sincerity, some hope, some ray of light in their life, that this person can become a devotee if I cultivate. Take his contact number. And when you go for book distribution, if he does not take a book, still give him something, give him some small bucket of prasad or a photo of the deities. And in this way, you carry the photo, and next time you buy the book, and the photo also has numbers, so you even inquire about where the program is. So this is book distribution. So book distribution is not only the score of the books. Book distribution is actually meeting people and giving them books. If they don't take the books, take their contact and bring them to the program. So every time book distribution happens in December, in January, our book distribution is successful is not just by scores. That is not the only way to a barometer to understand that we are a successful book distribution. January, we should see people coming in for our programs, new people for the book distribution events. So this is the way we should judge that books have gone, score has gone, but also new people have joined our community and they become devotees, they're taking up Krishna consciousness. So this is something which I feel that book distribution is not just a stand alone, just to distribute books and forget it, but it's a cultivation program, outreach program. And in this way, we can distribute more and more Srila Prabhupada. In our Radha Gopinath temple here, we always make book distribution as a two-way activity. One is we go one-to-one, and even going one-to-one also can be a fun activity. Like we ask our congregation devotees to come together on Saturday, Sunday, Tell them go and distribute books. Come together. Don't just go one. If you can go alone, it's okay. But if you if you want to come in a group, fix a time, Saturday or Sunday weekend, 1 hour or 2 hour, and come together and fix a time like 1 hour or half an hour, whatever you can possibly. Everyone should be there, and then you just go out. Just seeing all that big congregation of devotees will create a great spirit amongst the devotees, and also it will create an impact on the people who are watching you. And you'll think, Hare Krishna, whole family has come there. So husband, wife, kids, everyone can take part. So someone can lead kirtan, mridanga playing kartal, someone can be on the book table, someone can get prasadam for the devotees who have come for book distribution, and some of them can go distribute books, shop to shop. Someone can be standing on the table and convincing people to buy books. And this can be like a picnic. When we go for a picnic, we all go together. Similarly, we can have a picnic of book distribution, not to go to some hill station or some holy place. We can have a picnic in a chowk, in the corner, in the railway station, wherever we have bus stands, wherever. We just put a small table and everyone goes around. And you will see after 1 hour, we will have less or big, small or big problem. Score can be small or big together and distribute Srila Prabhupada books. We collected a lot of contacts, and then we can also we distributing event. So there's one-to-one, and there are some devotees who are very, very accomplished devotees who can convince anyone to buy books. They are very super sharp, super talented. Such devotees should do one-to-one and also do big books, because we also need Hanumans, right? We are like spiders, but we need few Hanumans who also will not just show one book, but he will go to one person, convince him to buy 1,000 books or sponsor 1,000 books. So our congregation is full of Hanumans and squirrels, and overall we will finally make a setu to cross over Rameshwaram and go to Sri Lanka and destroy Ravana within us. So this is something which, as a congregation, we can have a individual activity and also collective activity, and in this way we can have a nice, wonderful way of kind of doing something for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. We can never ever repay the debt of Srila Prabhupada, but we are at least making an effort. We have Srila Prabhupada and we're trying to do something to make him happy. So this is the whole idea of book distribution, to make Srila Prabhupada happy. And Prabhupada book distribution is also something which a chance we're getting in this human form of life. We are not sure we'll get the chance again in the next birth or wherever we are. The only activity, beautiful activity of preaching, following in parampara with Srila Prabhupada. I'll end with a small anecdote. One time one devotee went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I'm praying to the deities that life after life I'll come in this material world and distribute your books. So Prabhupada said, no need. I said, why, Prabhupada? I thought you'll be happy by my prayer. Prabhupada said, no need, because as the Kali Yuga progresses, book distribution, preaching will become more and more difficult. So you sincerely distribute books and also sincerely practice Krishna consciousness and go back to what in his very life. Don't have to come back again. In future, someone else will come and distribute books, but you perfect your life. But in this life, you preach, distribute books, and also perfect your life. So this is something which we have to do. Well, we have to distribute Srila Prabhupada books, read them, and also become good devotees. And we have to go back to our spiritual world from where we belong to. So there are a lot of things to speak and reconcile, but time is short. And what is the time now? Let me check. Oh, we have 15 minutes remaining for this class. So I'll end here and I'll pause here and I'll ask if there are any questions or any comments also. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada book distribution ki jai. It's also amazing, Prabhuji. So many examples of Srila Prabhupada devotees. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yeah. So many examples of Srila Prabhupada devotees you gave, especially the story that you started with. of Prabhupada waking up the devotee in the middle of the night and asking him to distribute books as one of the important services. It's an amazing story, Prabhuji. Really inspiring for this marathon. That Prabhupada actually looking at us, how much we are doing every year. And the more we do, the more happy Prabhupada becomes even now. So thank you. And does anyone have anything to share? There are some devotees who are doing street distribution, Prabhuji, in our book, in our group. There are some devotees who are doing sponsorship-based distribution. Some of us are doing village, sponsor a village like that. That is another program that we had done last year. This year also we're doing sponsor an entire village. Whichever village you have taken birth, you can sponsor the whole village. You can sponsor a street in that village. You can sponsor a line in that village, or at least the house in which you took birth. Like that.
The morning I got a WhatsApp message which was mentioning that all our children have their own mobile phones. So I don't give them their own personal Bhagavad Gita.
Hari bol, Hari bol. Amazing, amazing. We'll use that. We'll use that in book distribution now. You have your own mobile phone. Where is your own Bhagavad Gita? Hari bol. Yeah. Anybody wants to share? Ask any questions on book distribution? Prabhuji, I have one question. Prabhupada had written the first canto, you said, in many volumes, right? And he took chunks of them, to Butler, Pennsylvania. So was it the same first canto that we are reading, or it was again rewritten or restructured so it meets with the whole remaining Bhagavatam? Was it in the same way, like
same thing,
word to word, translation, purport, everything the same format? The first one that Prabhupada had written.
And now also, if you see the one which was printed, the big one, it is one volume, one Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, right? But if you see, go back to 5 years, 10 years behind, there were Srimad Bhagavatam first canto in 3 volumes. Even the small Bhagavatam which came, the black one, which came from Singapore print, and even now also got printed recently. They all multiple volumes. So the content is same, just that the printing was done in that fashion, dividing into multiple volumes so that it's easy to sell and also easy to carry. But later when Bhagavatam set entirely came and it was distributed as set, so not to increase the volume of the books, then they kept Bhagavatam as first canto as 1 volume, like that.
Very good. I probably, with your permission, I would like to share one incident which was very funny and inspiring. Is we were distributing Bhagavatam in front of office. There is a place called DLF in Hyderabad. So there are many offices in that building. So employees keep walking out, and so they come for having tea or coffee in the afternoons and evenings. So we were standing outside the office gate, and we were distributing Bhagavad Gitas. And while we were distributing Bhagavad Gitas, you also find this credit card fellows, the ICICI, Citibank credit card people. They also are distributing pamphlets, right? So when the employees are coming out, they give a pamphlet. Please take a credit card. Please take a credit card. So obviously the people who are coming were ignoring us who are distributing Bhagavad Gita. They were also ignoring him who was distributing credit cards, credit card pamphlets. So he was looking at us and he was also distributing credit card pamphlets. He was also looking at me. So the person comes out of the office, he shows credit card pamphlets. I don't want. And then I come in front. Do you want a Bhagavad Gita? I don't want. So the person goes off. So many cases like that, right? As you rightly said, 100 mein 5 people will stop. And so at one point, after 2 hours, we were doing the same thing. He looked at me, he looked at his credit cards, he threw that down. He said, at least by distributing Bhagavad Gita, I'll get some piety. What will I get with these credit cards? So he took some Bhagavad Gitas from me, and we both started distributing Bhagavad Gita. and that day he distributed his first Bhagavad Gita that day. And he was so happy, like, wow, today I distributed my first Bhagavad Gita. And he had never read Bhagavad Gita. No, I don't know what frustrated him, that he has been doing that credit card thing for quite some time, no success. And at least by seeing other devotees doing Bhagavad Gita, he joined the brigade. I just thought I'll share that incident.
That was good. That was a very nice story. I'll quote the medals also. Nice talks at how the credit cards seller, he became credit card. But devotee should not get frustrated with selling Bhagavad Gita. Okay, should happen the other way. That is Actually, if you put a stall in one place, same place every day, I had experience that sometimes we find genuine seekers. So I remember one particular place where put a stall, and second day of the marathon, 2nd December, this person walks in, buys a Bhagavad Gita, and every day he comes, he sees the stall, he comes and talks to us, and we preach to him. So every day, that was normal way he would walk, right? He would go to his from office to his home, same lane, same street. So he would come and then spend time with us. Then we would preach. On the 8th of December, then we told him that why don't you stand here and also help us in distributing books. So then from 8th December, he was actually distributing books along with us. So 2nd December, he took a book. Same day, he thought, let me have 15-20 minutes stand here and distribute books. So these are very wonderful, novel ways of how we can also engage people in book distribution.
So nice, Prabhuji. Anybody else you want to share your experience or encourage others in the group?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It was a very nice class, Prabhuji. And this is my husband, and we both are in Lilanand Prabhuji's satsang for quite some time now. Prabhuji, we both work for a software company, so we decided to sort of look at all ways we can sell books, Prabhuji, distribute books. And because everything is online now, apart from going door to door, we decided let's make posters and put in all the groups that we are part of. There is one group for family, there is one group for childhood friends, childhood classmates, college, and then employees, all different kinds of WhatsApp groups, Prabhuji. And all the insults and everything also became digital after that, Prabhuji. So we would post the posters, and there would be like silence, pin drop silence in the WhatsApp groups for some time, and then all the jokes, all the videos, the usual forwards, everything would follow. So we wouldn't know whether somebody read it. If we were to forward a joke, it would immediately get response, Prabhuji. So posters, all those, our distribution work, book distribution posters wouldn't get a response. Not even like somebody would take a reply and put some hand gesture. Nothing like that, Prabhuji. So like really it puzzled me, Prabhuji. At least somebody could reply and say one hand. No, I mean, nowadays everybody puts hands for everything. And then I just thought, okay, let me keep on adding one personal message every day. How about I come to your doorstep and give the book if you buy? And next day I said, replied, that's why you didn't come forward, but you can give it as a return gift. I'm pretty sure you are having New Year parties. Then I again replied all, and I said, not if you really don't want Bhagavad Gita, there is another book that I strongly recommend, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's amazing, very sweet, very beautiful. Then next day I said, I can buy it, I can read it for you and send it in like audio messages every day. The 4th day, some of my childhood friends replied in personal message, Prabhuji. I really want to buy, but nobody reads these days, Suma. Like nobody reads. And I caught on to that. I said, no need to read. You just take it, hold it in your hand. That itself, I'm told, is enough. And this is very, very good book. And it's a devotee that has written about it. I used all the lines that all my senior acharyas used. So somehow we have reached around 3-digit, Prabhuji, by doing this strategy just online. I'm counting just the online.
Yeah.
So it really works, Prabhuji. I don't know, it's all Srila Prabhupada's mercy, as you told, but persistence really, really helps, Prabhuji. But it's also personal. Digital is less insulting than personal, Prabhuji. Personal is extremely purifying. Some days I have come back and said, I don't think I can take any more purification for this day. I'll stop for this day. I'll do next. So Prabhuji, so you reminded us so much that this is really important and persistence is very important, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you for
Prabhuji,
sharing.
Prabhuji, as a couple, they have already crossed 4 digits. They're just humbling us by saying 3 digits. Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. 1,000 plus books this year.
You're going to
Yes.
digitalize. You're going to digitalize, and your digits are also increasing.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else? Anything? And Prabhuji actually has a class. He said at 9 o'clock. But if there is any other reflection or any inspiring incident, or you have a question for Prabhuji, please ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Myself,
Yes.
Raju Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
actually,
Yes.
this is the first time I'm doing book distribution, Prabhuji. From last almost 1 week or 10 days, we are doing in our colony. And wherever we are temples are there, we are going there. So as you told that, Prabhuji, we asked, if you ask 100 people, there are 4 to 5 people are responding, Prabhuji. So how to so a lot of people are just simply ignoring. They're not even responding or not even looking at us. So for that kind of things, how to so how can we handle, Prabhuji? Means if you get that little bit chance to speak to them, so we can little convince her, we can so in that cases, how to, Prabhuji, how to, so we need to go to them because they're simply ignoring and they're not looking at even, Prabhuji.
So one thing I learned from Hare Krishna.
Sorry about that, Prabhuji. Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing I learned from veteran book distributors that show more and then you distribute more. That's one thing. So you keep showing people books. And the second most important thing is don't think that everyone you meet, you have to preach the whole Bhagavad Gita to them. That's a problem. We always feel that isko to bhakt bana ke chhodunga, isko to Bhagavad Gita de ke rahunga. Please don't be in that mood of that I have to give him. Or why he's not taking? He's in Maya or she's in Maya, not like that. It's okay. The whole idea is that today they may not take, tomorrow they may take. So whole idea is just go to many people. Don't try and spend too much time convincing one person to buy. See, once you go for book distribution regularly, what will happen is you'll find from body language, from the eye contact, you understand that actually this person is not interested at this time. You tell a thank you and said, then you immediately take it. If it's not interested, it's not showing, said, we have a program here, please come to join our program. If you're interested, let me know. And it doesn't show interest, just walk off and go to the next one. Show more people. And then among those, when you show more people, what will happen? See, we have a limited time, right? We don't have 24 hours to distribute books. We have only 1 or 2 hours maximum. So 2 hours, if you spend time on a person who is not interested, you're actually losing time on those people who are waiting for you. But if 2 hours is gone just on one person, then those people who actually waiting for you somewhere, you'll miss them. So we just do a fast work with those people who are not interested and keep looking, keep striking, and finally you find a person who's very much spend time on it like that. I always take a lot of, I really appreciate the way you find in buses and in trains, these people come and they sell their products, right? Pencils or pens or mobile stands and all that. So I'm not saying we have to become like that, but point is that they just keep going ahead, If someone is interested, then they spend time with that person. Not that they're telling every person sitting in the train, please buy, please buy, please buy, please buy. Not like that. They're just moving. Their speed is going on. They're always moving. And they show, and then they see this person is not interested. Say, are you interested? No, okay, take it. Go ahead. So we have one devotee here in our temple here who is a veteran book distribution. And when I used to distribute books for 2 hours, when initially I used to go to the train station, I would distribute around 20 books and he would distribute 200 books in 2 hours. How can I distribute the same books I'm distributing? He distribute 200 books and I want 20 books. Then I realized I studied the whole thing. I saw that he doesn't spend too much time on every people the more his books going. Also realize that what we do, we get stuck to one person. We just try to convince him as if he is the only one, and if he takes your book, then he will become pure devotee next day. We become very attached to those results. Just keep striking many people, and finally you find someone who is little interested to spend more time, but don't spend too much time. Don't give everything in one go. Keep him greedy, keep him little more inquisitive, and ask him come for the program, and let him come there, and we'll actually spend 5 hours with him in the program. But right now I am on a spree of doing book distribution. So go more people, strike more. Is that okay, Raju?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you, for joining today morning in this book distribution session. And I really enjoyed having all of your association. While sitting in Mumbai, I am getting chance to see all of you in Hyderabad. Hopefully, we'll also meet offline someday. Hare Krishna.
Let us thank His Grace Baldev Prabhu with 3 loud and enthusiastic Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol, Hari Bol,
Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very, very grateful.
Srila
Thank you very
Prabhupada
much.
ki jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, thank you for joining book distribution session today. It was not a Bhagavatam class, it was more on book distribution. So today evening also we are continuing some practical tips of how we can convert Gita Jayanti into a big connection day, right? So Tuesday is Gita Jayanti. So let us all meet today evening. Please take your time out and come to the satsang. We have a satsang today evening in Satya Srinivas Prabhu and Shirsha Mataji's house. So please come and we will discuss how we can distribute more innovatively, right? And all of you can share your thoughts and suggestions. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada book distribution marathon ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari
Hari Hari.
Hari.